Each morning, real setups are broken down with entry strategies and technical reasoning behind every trade. This is today's best trade setups with Verified Investing.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my top trade setups. My name is Benjamin Poole, head trader here at Verified Investing. Thank you so much for tuning in at 8:45. The markets are selling off quite nicely. The altcoins, the Bitcoin market, the SMH, everything is selling right now. I have some key technical setups for you that you want to watch on the list. Oracle is going to be my major top setup today. It is coming into some really key technical setups. And this is something you guys want to watch. I'll go over that. Also, SMH was a stock that somebody had asked me to go over. And so I'm going to go over that at the end of the show, right after the Oracle trade setup. But you guys want to stay tuned the whole time through. All right, the first one I'm going to go over is AMD. I'm going to slow down a little bit, walk you through what's going on with AMD. So I mentioned that I'm going to track this AMD based on this pivot top from the highs of 2021, from the highs of March of 2024. And if AMD can get up to $274.87, I would say that this marks more of a longer term top for AMD. We did look like we were going to start to push up there a couple days ago. Let me go ahead and zoom in to the charts. We did 2 days ago, we had this huge surge to the upside. I'd mentioned that a good shortable level was this pivot top right here, this gap fill at $256.32. Now we're currently trading at $238.95. Look at the sell-off. So from the highs all the way down back into this gap fill, that is about a 10% correction for the chart of AMD. So now what is the next thing I'm looking for? I'm looking for another gap fill. $237.52 is going to be that first long position. $237.52. This is the gap fill right before the news that on the last pop that AMD had. So once price action gets back into this level, there will be a day trade level for you. If price action does get below that level, the next level of support is going to be a long level at $233.54. From the pivot high, from the recent high, this will be about an 11.33% drop to the downside. You are going to have a lot of buyers who are all in this candle. So my game plan in the live day trading room is to enter at $237.52, knowing that because this was only a couple days ago, there aren't probably going to be as many buyers. So I would likely take about $1 to $2 on this and then wait for this next support level. If we start breaking through $233.54, we actually don't have another gap fill in the charts until $218.15. So from the current price, if we get a sustained bounce, that could be another 8% drop. I don't see that happening today, but watch this on your radar. This would be an epic move for AMD. Great opportunity to go long. Price action starts to fail, your next support is going to be at 203. But look at this. There is a lot of room to run to the downside on AMD. The next pivot isn't until $184. So be careful with this. If we start to get into a downtrend in the rest of the markets, AMD could really start selling off big time. Next one is Nvidia. So NVDIA is another key chart that I've been watching. What I've had to do with Nvidia, because of the euphoric move in Nvidia, I had to actually look for a hidden trend line. So every once in a while, you get these stocks that give these really good trend lines. Every once in a while, you'll have these stocks that kind of defy specific trend lines. And so you got to look inside of the chart and see where price action consolidated along a trend line, where it respected the support levels. And then you can see once it gets below as resistance. Currently, I have this upsloping trend line. It's a hidden trend line. I've taken this pivot top from the 24th of March, 2025. This is the second hit of this trend line on the 16th of May. Look at what happened. Price action got rejected. Then all this choppiness through this trend line, finally got above, and then it got this trend line was support. And so this was the first hit, second hit, third hit. Notice how it got a nice bounce. Now that we're piercing this level, this is going to be resistance if we can get a confirmation below this long level at $178.91. So we're waiting for a pierce of this level and a continuation move. Once we get that confirmation to the downside, this upsloping trend line is going to become resistance again. And so I would actually be looking to short Nvidia if it retraces the scene of the crime. I'm not sure where that would be, probably about $186, $187 with a potential stop out at a daily closing basis back inside of this support or soon to be resistance trend line. For today, $178.91 is that first support level. If you start breaking that, your next gap fill in the charts is $170.29. So from the highs of $212, this right now would be a 15% move to the downside. You got to think about people who are stuck in this trade. Once they start getting 15 to 20% out of the money, there could be some panic selling and driving this thing all the way down to $170.29. Once you break that level, there isn't a whole lot of support until you get to this major pivot top at about $153. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but that is the next support level or the major support level that I see in Nvidia. For today, look for these 178.91 level and then 170.29 if it breaks this first level. I would put a stop out on a 15-minute closing basis below 178.91 and then reattack it again at $170.29. Let's go ahead and go over Bitcoin. Bitcoin is falling. It's down below, well, it was briefly below $95,000. Look at this downtrend that Bitcoin is in. We've got this pivot high, a pivot low, a lower high, a lower low, a little bit of a lower high. And the reason I say this is a lower high is because look at the closing price and never recaptured this pivot. And so now we're in this downtrend. So this is what's considered a leapfrog pattern. So lower, you want a pivot high, a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, and then look at the fall. My support level for Bitcoin for a long is $91,748. Unless we can recapture this downsloping trend line, for me, this is a lot of support. You actually have to go back to the lows of November 2024, where all this price action was really bought up, got below it briefly, reattacked it. This was support. So once price action gets back into $91,748, this is going to be support. If you don't buy Bitcoin, you can always look into going long on IBIT once the price of Bitcoin gets down there, which will probably be right about here at $52 on IBIT. All right. Now here is the trade that I'm looking at this morning. Oracle has been selling off quite sharply. It's gone through a couple different gap fills. And so now I have a couple key technical levels that I'm looking at to trade today. We did end up trading that yesterday in the live day trading room off of that first level that I'd given you guys in the in this show yesterday. So I'm looking at Oracle again. $210.24 is going to be that next gap fill. It did get close to $210.91 this morning already, but 210.24. Look at what happened with Oracle. So this was on the back of earnings and then a $44 billion backlog shot up 40%. Now, all of a sudden, the euphoria in Oracle is gone. Now it's dropped 40%, even lower than that gap or that earnings report. So again, $210.24 is what I'm looking at for a long. And then after that, you have $206.99 as a secondary support level. If we start breaking that level, your next level is going to be a pierce of $200, right down here at $199.86. I'm not looking to exit the position. If I end up going long on Oracle, I will dollar cost average all the way down to 206.99. If we start breaking below that level, which I don't think is going to happen today, the next support again is $199.86. All right, let's go ahead and go into SMH. SMH has a nice parallel channel, upsloping parallel channel, and it looks like it's reattacking the lower end of that upsloping parallel channel and about to break. If it starts to break, it's got a lot of downside to go as well. So let's go ahead and go into the SMH chart. Look at this parallel channel, kind of another hidden resistance level for SMH. Look at how every time it got underneath this resistance level, it got a pullback and then headed down to the lower end of this upsloping parallel channel. Finally reattacked along the midline, got back to the upper end, and now we're currently trading at $335.60. This is where price is likely to break down. If we can get a continuation move to the downside, then our next level of support is going to be $324.83. So ultimately, I think that the SMH may be about done, but we still need a break below with a confirmation. So that way we can make sure that it's not a fake out. If price action does get back inside of this upsloping parallel channel, we're still considered in a bullish uptrend. And so we got to respect it and wait for about the $372 level to re-enter SMH if we were going to short this thing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know Gareth Soloway is going live in my trading game plan in less than 4 minutes. He's going to talk about the fall in crypto, the fall in the markets, how everything is just getting beat up. You don't want to miss it. And I do appreciate you for tuning in every morning at 8:45. If you're getting something out of this, make sure you're liking, following, subscribing, sharing with your friends so they can get the same alpha that you're getting every single morning. And with that, you guys have a great rest of your day. Take care.